I think what I'm going to do is, now that the excavator's warmed up a little, is track this in where I worked on it a couple weeks ago or last week. Is track in along the edge of this pole barn concrete and down this side here as well. And just kind of get that first initial knockdown of the dirt and pack it in, and then I can do final grading with the tractor, the box blade, or the front end loader. So I think that's where I'm going to start today. Okay, well that dirt set up pretty good from when I was out here with the tractor. It was kind of wet last week or 10 days ago when I worked it, and now that clay has tightened up, it's real dry. It's hard to push around, so I was able to crush some of the bigger chunks with the tracks of the excavator and get it smoothed out a bit. So I can get that perfectly smooth with the front end loader bucket. All right, I'm gonna work on this side now for a bit. Okay, you can see that I'm using the side of the bucket to push that dirt up to the left. But this is a mini excavator in all sense of the word, so it doesn't have a lot of hydraulic strength to turn the cab and move that boom, so I got to take little bites of dirt as I do it. But I got that pile moved from where it is up against the concrete where I can grade it better. So I'm going to go down the line here and just kind of keep doing that and going from right to left to put it up against the concrete and then grade it. I'm lacking a lot of dirt here, and I know that. Probably the most dirt I have is right here, but this all has grass established with it. So rather than taking dirt from here and putting up there, I'll either get more dirt from the pond or I'll buy some dirt and put up there. That's good topsoil. That actually would look real good around the house, but it's here now. Okay, I was able to push up that dirt from the right to the left, up against the footers of the pole barn, but I just don't have enough dirt, especially down on that end. There's much more dirt on this end, but there's barely enough dirt on this end. So I'm just gonna smooth out what I have here. I don't wanna do any harm. I don't wanna make it worse. I don't wanna make the other side better at the expense of making this side worse. So do a little bit more blading here, and then I'm going to call this one done for the day. Okay, so I actually had a couple of good pushes there and pushed some dirt from behind me to in front of me, and probably got to about the halfway mark on the pole barn. That's as much dirt as I have. So the slope is not ideal, but it's a lot better than it was. And I brought that dirt from the excavator to about there. When you're on the excavator at that angle, it's a little dicey. I wasn't scared of it tipping over, but when I got to the end of that push right there, it was at the maximum amount of angle I wanted to be at to be comfortable. That's for sure. And maybe it didn't look that bad on camera, but from that seat, it felt different. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna call that good enough. You can see over my shoulder there that I got it all tracked in. I pushed it as far as I could up against the footers and covered that a little bit, but for the most part, it's just tracked in. I'll turn this around and show you what I mean. But it probably looks better on camera than it does in person. But I got it graded fairly well. You can see where the footers are showing more on the left side, that it needs a lot more dirt. So I would say right here, like where Bella is, this is decent. But you can see over here, there's some dirt missing here. So everything from there on up needs to have more dirt to make that slope proper. All right, I'm gonna move to the back of my parents' house back here and have some fun in the woods with the excavator. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is take the cedar out. I was gonna leave it here, but as that grows, that's gonna interfere with the door to my parents' house and their deck. And we gotta take some of these trees down anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. What I'm gonna do now is work this thick area and just push it back to the piles I created a couple of weeks ago. Okay, I'm just taking my time, picking my way through here. I'm actually trying to use the thumb and break down some of these pines that have been rotting in the woods here for a year or two. Trying not to tear up the machine. I'm trying not to run into trees. So I'm being a little bit slower maybe than a Dirt Perfect or a Let's Dig 18 or Digging Life 21. I'm just not one of those guys, right? I'm a weekend warrior. This is my machine. I gotta fix it if I break it. So just picking my way through here slowly, and I'm gonna push that brush behind me up into the pile that's farther behind me. Man down, man down. I knocked the camera over. Get into that thick stuff in front of the excavator, kind of knock it down and put it into this pile. And then I'm gonna work my way back out to the house. Okay, I got quite a bit cleared out back here. So I moved one big pile of cut up pines and stumps and brush. And it was right here. So it was a big pile like that. It was right in between these pines. I moved it over there. I did a little bit of grading in here. But grading with an excavator is one of those things that you get caught up doing, and before you know it, you burn up a couple hours. But I graded this out because it was high right in front of the camera, and then farther away from the camera it was lower. But that brush pile right there, there's a similar one that I moved next to it that is now right here. And we're going to take that and we're going to put it up on top of that big brush pile that's 8 foot tall. And then I think that'll be it for back here for now. When you have an excavator with a thumb, you tend to forget that you have your own thumb to pick up things. So instead of wasting diesel fuel, I'm just going to grab these last couple sticks and throw them up on the pile. The first 2 trees that I took down with the excavator when we bought it, and they've been sitting here, and I cut them up a week or 2 ago, but now it's a brush pile. So I'm going to grab that brush pile and push it back in the woods a little bit and kind of dress up and clean up this area. To avoid this all day, but I had a big old chunk of pine in my grasp right there. When it didn't fit and it bound up, I just knocked a big chunk of bark off this pine tree. This pine tree will die now. All right, folks, I think that's all I've got for you today. I got everything done that I wanted to get done.